Children in Need is a UK charity run by the BBC which raises money for disadvantaged children and young people. The charity started in the 80s and is still ongoing to this very day with a lovable mascot, Pudsey Bear. The charity collects donations by selling merchandise, doing fundraising events and school events like fancy dress and bake sales. It has been a very big part of the UK and is celebrated every year on the 17th of November. And today I'll be going over Peter Kay's animated all-star band, aka the official BBC Children in Need medley from 2009. It all started when comedian Peter Kay was having a chat with Tim Harper, director of Chapman Entertainment. Peter had this idea of getting the children's characters together to perform. At first it was just an overall joke between the two of them, but Peter would later bring it up again and believe that it could actually work. Peter and Tim would sit down at lunchtime and write a list of their favourite childhood characters, as well as some modern ones and some cartoon characters from the US, them being SpongeBob SquarePants, Ben 10 and Scooby-Doo. The project was carried out in top secret, which was decided by Peter Kay. Voice actors and celebrities would be brought into the studio to record their voice lines, but would not be told what it was for. Most of the original models, either from being packed away or from museums, was transported to Chapman Studios in Altrincham. Whilst they got most of the models they needed, the Trumpton models no longer existed due to Trumpton's original creator, Gordon Murray, burning the original models after the final filming of Trumpton, so new ones were recreated for this event. The project took 8 months to animate and 5.5 days to mix the vocals used for the songs featured. Those songs, by the way, being Can You Feel It by the Jackson 5s, Don't Stop by Fleetwood Mac, Dry Hole by R. Araham and the Pussycat Dolls, Tub Thumping by the Chumbawambas, Never Forget by Take That, Hey Jude by the Beatles and One Day Like This by Elbow. A lot of the original voice actors came back to reprise their roles, like Bernard Cribbins for the Wombles, Ken Barry for Postman Pat, Neil Morrissey for Bob the Builder, and hell, even brought back Ringo Starr into this to reprise his role as Thomas, though you can't really hear his voice that much when Thomas is singing. The video features a mix of 80s, 90s and overall 2000s kids characters with the mixture use of puppets, stop motion, costume characters, 2D animation and CGI. Most of the characters used for the music video was stop motion, while some being puppets and costume characters such as Sooty Sweep and Sue from Sooty, Zippy and George from Rainbow, Muffin the Mule, the Wooden Tops, the Thunderbirds, the Teletubbies, and the characters from In the Night Garden. All the 2D animated characters would include Rhubarb and Custard, Peppa Pig, Ben 10, Scooby-Doo, Fluffy Gardens, and SpongeBob SquarePants, and also the CGI version of Angelina Ballerina. All the other characters that were mostly stop motion would include Rory the Racing Car, Fifi and the Flower Tots, Bob the Builder, Postman Pat, Pingu, Fireman Sam, Bill and Ben, Andy Pandy, the Wombles, Paddington Bear, Bagpuss, Trumpton, Camberwick Green, the Koala Rubbers, the Rubber Dubbers, the Robots, Angie Benji and Thomas as well. That was quite a list of characters to read out. The music video bases around Big Chris, who is voiced by Peter Kay, getting everyone together at Silver Hatch Racetrack to perform the songs I mentioned earlier. It features Bob the Builder, Postman Pat, the Wombles, Koala Brothers and Fireman Sam singing in a recording booth, whilst characters like Iggle Piggle, Pingu, Andy Pandy and Bill and Ben just pop up in the background. The middle section of the music video would show characters from Rory Racing Car, Fifi and the Flower Tots, Fireman Sam, Bob the Builder and Postman Pat having a dance-off with the male and female characters, the girls performing Jai Ho and the boys performing Tub Thumping, the ending being the bestest part of the whole entire music videos, where all the characters are waving their hands to Hey Jude and One Day Like This. A lot of funny gags occur throughout the music video, such as Big Chris struggling with the internet connection to show the animated characters on the screens, and Paddington, who is enjoying the moment, showing off like he's a popular celeb, the Fat Controller just being a subplot of eating way too much food, and also Ajay from Postman Pat being on the wrong group whilst the girls are performing Jai Ho. I love how they all just look at Bob because he just disapproves of it. Oh yeah, and also Shippy Minton popping up at the end scene to get informed that they had finished their performance. The beach scene took 6 days to animate, which is crazy to think about. But what I love is all these characters got to share the same screen together. I swear this would be a dream for anyone who would have loved to see their favourite characters meet each other. It was so cool seeing Thomas and Rory together, even though Thomas didn't have that much screen time. And I also love the single's album cover, which is of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Band, which was a recreation with all the characters involved in the production. It reached number 1 on the second week of the charts after it was released on CD and DVD. I even have 2 copies of the CD release myself. A lot of interesting facts as well, like they couldn't use the Royal Mail logo for Postman Pat's van due to copyright issues, so instead they used the SDS lines instead. The 2003 Fireman Sam models being used for the music video had the CGI voice actors, and also Kazi Kazman, the voice of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, agreed to do all the voice lines for him, but asked not to be credited in the final production. Also, this at the end scene, a character who wasn't even on TV at the time, Rara the Noisy Lion, appeared despite not being aired yet, which is interesting given the show was produced by Keith Chapman, where the music video was being animated at Chapman Studios. Maybe someone mistakenly added him in, or maybe it was just a fun little Easter egg to spot. The single did very well itself. With 452,000 copies sold all over the UK, the single raised at least £170,000 for children in need, after more than 265,000 CD, DVD and download sales by mid-December, which is pretty amazing. In conclusion, Peter Kay's animated All-Star Band is an absolute masterpiece within the UK television history. It's really amazing seeing these beloved characters coming together to raise money for a good aid, that being children in need. The time, effort, dedication and love that went into this to make the British Endgame of 2009 is outstanding. I appreciate Peter Kay so much for this, as well as the amazing people who brought it to life as well. This is something I really love watching, especially for all the nostalgia vibes, and it's just a big comfort. I highly recommend if you like old British kids shows, or if you're a fan of cartoons in general, then this is definitely a good thing for you to watch. It's funny, charming, and most of all, fantastic.